Welcome, my name is Lumiel, and this is the Bloodborne Lorethrough, where we play through Bloodborne and uncover the lore in real time as it's presented. In the previous episodes, we played through the upper and then lower Forbidden Woods, and then we took on the Shadows of Yharnam here in the Forbidden Grave area. So, some giant graves, and there was one item that had eluded me that I got between episodes, and that is this helmet or this mask, however you want to put it. And it is the Graveguard mask, which has the same lore notes as we've seen before, basically talking about the two loyal servants to Master Willem. One was the door gatekeeper that led us into the Forbidden Woods when we spoke the adage to him, and the other was Doris, the Graveguard of the forest. So this is her gear that we are wearing, although I'm going to go ahead and switch it up now. Let's go ahead and go with some of the doll gear. Let's go with white church garb. This doesn't really matter. Alright, so just wanted to change up my clothes a little bit. I'm not a grave guard, so from the Forbidden Grave, I actually have gone to the next lamp. I had recorded a short video where I went and got that Graveguard mask, but really that and then getting to the next lamp seemed like a waste of a video, so I'm going to go ahead and take us through here to the next area. And I want to get the monocular handy. Alright, so it takes us through this pale lit wooded area. A big change from the woods that we've gone through. Also in that they're not twisting and they're more straightforward. We have a new enemy here, which is called a Garden of Eyes. Looks like kind of an insectoid fly creature, and I'll go ahead and show what happens if we let him land on us like that. Sorry, I was backed into a corner. I want him to go ahead and do that again. And so this could be dangerous because look at that frenzy buildup that is very fast, and maybe if I hadn't healed, he may have killed us there. So, this is the first time we're seeing these Garden of Eyes, and they are a big change from what we've been seeing. Not really resembling the beasts, and more along the lines of the more alien, slick-skinned, shiny creatures that we've seen in the Forbidden Woods. Not that they are actually directly linear, just in that they do not resemble the beast scourge in any way. So that will allow us to take a closer look. The wings don't really seem functional. And many, many eyes on this Garden of Eyes. Interesting name. That obviously hasn't been presented through the game. It's just one of the names of the enemies that I do remember because of how unique it is. I also want to just point out these statues or growths. They look very, very old, and they also have faces. And then, once we continue through here, here's the lamp we've lit, and we are now in Byrgenwerth, which we've heard about for a long time. We know that Byrgenwerth is a college. We know that scholars of Byrgenwerth were the ones who first went into the underground labyrinths. They found the holy medium, which we assume is blood, and it led to the formation of the healing church. And from the healing church, there was a rift between Byrgenwerth, and kind of the pursuits of Byrgenwerth seemed alien and forbidden to the church. And so the area was closed off and password guarded and hidden within a deep wood. So Byrgenwerth College is Master Willem is aligned with them, and Lawrence seemed to have aligned with the Healing Church, and that was the key part of the rift. Some of the Healing Church people still kind of followed some of the studies or schools of thought of the Byrgenwerth group, such as Archibald and his obsession with the bolt powers of dark beasts. But we know that the Cathedral Ward was more or less a dead end in our pursuit of Pale Blood, and we've heard that they broke out from Byrgenwerth, or grew out of Byrgenwerth, so we sought Byrgenwerth for our next stage to try to find Pale Blood to end this endless night and this endless hunt. So let's see what's going on here. So the path leads down that way. And what have we got over here? So I can already see an area to summon an old hunter. We may do that in a moment. There's another Garden of Eyes. And we can see the tail and the wings a little bit better now. There's a path over there. And some more of the statues on this raised area. And I don't see any items or anything to drop down here for, other than potentially that summon. But before we summon them, let's just take a look at the area down here. We have a path leading up to a gate that will be locked. Even if I didn't know that for sure, just the odds in this game or any FromSoft game would tell us that. We see him before he saw us. So let's just check out this. We can see a full view of the moon now. Alright, so if we come over this way, we know that there was a Garden of Eyes around that corner. He's walking to lure us out so that this one back here can ambush us. So let's try to ambush him instead. Alright, so can we still get to that one up there? And are there other enemies that... There, I got his attention. I don't want to follow him all the way over there. Because I want to check the surrounding area first, so... Alright. So, I now know the only thing in this area, I didn't even see any items, is just this, and who would it summon? The younger Madara's twin who helped us in the fight with the Shadows of Yharnam. The younger Madara's twin who was raised by a snake, became a member of the... He became a confederate of the League, who finds and hunts for vermin, and once you become a hunter of vermin, you find them everywhere, and he found them in the snake that raised him, and he found vermin in his older brother. So perhaps they find vermin where there is not vermin, and see it everywhere they look, or perhaps vermin actually was inside of them. Alright. We see a structure and a little path leading up to that raised area. Over here we see the lake reflecting the moon. We see an area in front of this building. We see a closed door. As I've alluded, closed doors often do not open from this side. We'll go ahead and check it to be sure though. And we see one of these guys who feeds on insight, and a giant slug comes out of its head. Let's just make sure there's no one else. And he's a tougher one than we've come across before. They often drop quicksilver bullets too, which I find interesting because it's usually dropped by two enemies. Typically drop them. Anyone holding a gun and the ladies with the chimes that in the underground labyrinth. So we just got a new rune. It is another body of water one. So we got Arcane Lake. We have Lake, which has physical damage reduction. This one has arcane damage reduction. And says the exact same description as the others, but just lists a different type of damage that is done. They all state that large bodies of water serve as a bulwark guarding sleep and an augur of the eldritch truth. The other thing that we have heard about Byrgenwerth that kind of drove us in this area, or enticed us, I would say, was that we heard in the library leading to Erden Chapel that the Byrgenwerth spider hid from us all manner of ritual and kept our master from us. So we don't know who they were. Perhaps members of the College of Byrgenwerth, or perhaps they were the School of Mensis, which we've only heard loosely about. So I can see a Garden of Eyes up there, likely for an ambush. We can see one of these large arcane flowers that we've seen in the underground labyrinth. We can see an other side to this body of water, unlike some of the other areas we've seen, which perhaps they were oceans rather than lakes. Let's see. Yep. So he dropped down there. Two of them. All right. They drop down, leaving the arcane flower, which we remember they throw fireballs and they swing their heads almost like a club. And you can see a cosmic burst around those fireballs, kind of leading us to believe they're not just fireballs. Alright, that can also grab you, and it can spit out this fluid. And then in the underground labyrinth, their heads fall like a flower and drop arcane haze. Okay, so we have a few items, one up there, one up here. Can hear it creaking. Great One's wisdom. We've gotten Mad One's wisdom. Madman's knowledge, I mean. So, this was a skull of a madman touched by the wisdom of Great Ones, used to gain insight. Making contact with eldritch wisdom is a blessing, for even if it drives one mad, it allows one to serve a grander purpose for posterity. This one is fragments of the lost wisdom of the Great Ones, beings that might be described as gods. At Byrgenwerth, Master Willem had an epiphany. We are thinking on the basis of planes, what we need are more eyes. Eyes rather than blood, he's saying. Or I'm taking from what he's saying. And it makes clear that the Great Ones are at least as gods, can be seen as gods. There's that creaking sound. And we'll come around this side. Checking for ambushes. There's a Garden of Eyes ahead. They fall so slowly, I often don't realize that they are dead. Sedative. First time we've seen this in the game. So, the sedative is a liquid medicine that calms the nerves. Those who delve into the arcane fall all too easily to madness, and thick human blood serves to calm the frayed nerves of these inquisitive minds. Naturally, this often leads to the reliance on blood ministration. So that treats, if I remember right, that treats when we have frenzy buildup. If you take it quick enough, you could remove the frenzy before it hits the peak, or if it is slowly reducing, you could take it to remove what has been built up. Okay, this opens the gate. Before I go in there, I am going to call upon the younger Madaris twin to join me. Again, I tend to use these summons, one, because I'm not doing a challenge run. I'm over-leveled for that, because I am interested in the lore. So, we are bringing them in because it's within the lore, when, in my opinion, when playing offline, to call upon these helpers. And I don't mind that it makes the game easier often. So, we have that house, or that building, which we know leads to, on the other side, a locked door. I never did check it, but it is locked. And in here, I want to take a look around. We see a hatch with a chain that would pull it open, surely, but we see no means to open it. We see books strewn about. A grand staircase. And we can hear footsteps. And we see a person that we don't see their name. And there was his Madaris whistle, which brought a great snake from the ground. So, we took care of this person before they really got to get too many attacks off. If you keep them at a distance, they will use a lot of arcane magics on us. And they can be extremely dangerous, but as I've said before, I'm over-leveled, making that fight easier and making their attacks less dangerous. So we have Pearl Slug, which is also new. I actually don't know what kind of item it is. I don't remember. Okay, there it was. A material used in a holy chalice ritual, one of the strange life forms that resides in the nooks and crannies of the old labyrinth. The slugs are clear signs of the left behind great ones. It's interesting that these pearl slugs are clear signs of the left behind great ones, so that is also a key phrasing. Some have been left behind. Somehow these slugs seem related to them. And here's the door on the opposite side. And now let's go up. So I have another summon here. This is Henrik, Gascoigne's partner. We have student uniform and trousers. Yeah, let's go ahead and change into him. So, uniforms of the students of Byrgenwerth, a bygone institute of learning. The Healing Church has its roots in Byrgenwerth and naturally borrows heavily from its uniform design. The focus not on knowledge or thought, but on pure pretension, would surely bring Master Willem to despair, if only he knew. A bygone institute of learning, so they're saying it's bygone, it is an empty school building that we seem to be in. Features a thick cape. But where are the halls where they taught? The healing church has its roots in Byrgenwerth. Master Willem would be in despair if he only knew. Alright, so that's it over here. As we know, summoning in multiple characters often makes bosses harder. I might do it just because I don't know that I've ever even summoned anyone for the next boss fight. When the red moon hangs low, the line between man and beast is blurred, and when the great ones descend, a womb will be blessed with child. So, when the great ones descend, a womb will be blessed with child. This recalls to me the 1/3 umbilical. Every great one loses its child and then yearns for a surrogate. So, when the great ones descend, a womb will be blessed with child. Is this them creating a surrogate? And for what purpose? Another staircase leading up. I don't know. Does he just hang out down there? Lunarium key. I did not check, but on the floor below us there was a large door I ran right past. Lunarium key implies that it's for an area looking at the moon. Key to the lunarium facing the lake on the second floor of Byrgenwerth College. In his final years, Master Willem was fond of the lookout and the rocking chair that he kept there for meditation. In the end, it is said, he left his secret with the lake. So Master Willem liked to sit in a rocking chair in the lunarium, looking out upon the lake, which guards his secret. And like we've heard in these runes, not these ones, that great bodies of water serve as a bulwark guarding sleep and an augur of the eldritch truth. So, the secret is surely eldritch in nature. Alright, what do we have up here? Just further staircase. And a garden of eyes. Alright, and empty phantasm shell. So, this, like the old hunter bone and beast roar, is a weapon that can be used consuming quicksilver bullets, though not actually expending this item. So, in other words, it's an endless usage as long as you have quicksilver bullets. It's an arcane magic. It's an empty invertebrate shell that is said to be a familiar of a great one, like the pearl slugs. The Healing Church has discovered a great variety of invertebrates, or phantasms, as they are called. Shells with slime still harbor arcane power and can be rubbed on weapons to imbue them with their strength. So, let's go ahead and equip that. We've looked at the beast roar and the old hunter bone. That's how the monocular works. Now, the empty phantasm shell, it's not letting me just use like that, so. Oh, I remember why now, so let's go ahead. And we've switched to Ludwig's Holy Blade. Let's switch to the larger form. Let's use... What it essentially does is imbue the weapon with magic power. adding arcane attack to your weapon's regular attack. Now, I'm using the Holy Moonlight Blade, which has that essentially built into it. But it is more of a splitting of the attack across arcane and physical. Whereas I believe the Phantasm Shell adds just on top, so it's not subtracting anything. Alright, and then here we have the door to the Lunarium. Byrgenwerth is a very small area, so really we have covered everything. We had the area leading up to and around the school, and then the floors of the school here. So we're going to open the Lunarium, and I'm going to summon Henrik. Then I'll have 2 hunters with me. The Confederate younger Madaris twin, and the old hunter Henrik. I'm glad I came back over here. I see I missed a note. So there's Henrik. Here's the note that we saw in the library before Erden Chapel. The spider hides all manner of rituals, certain to reveal nothing, so not the exact note. That first part is true. Truly the same. Certain to reveal nothing, for true enlightenment need not be shared. The spider hides all manner of rituals, certain to reveal nothing, for true enlightenment need not be shared. I assume they mean shared by the Great Ones, or perhaps the people who wrote that note believe they found further enlightenment, and that whatever the spider is, whatever it will reveal, doesn't compare to what they have. So we're in the Lunarium. There's the rocking chair. And you'll see they're kind of hanging out there, because when I get to the point, I will just jump off that ledge into the lake, which will begin the boss fight, because as we know, the lake holds his secret. But let's take a look here. Before I forget, let's get rid of the Phantasm Shell so I don't inadvertently use it. We have Master Willem sat in the rocking chair, eyes obscured. Growths coming out of his back and out of his neck. Robes all the way to the ground. There's a closer look at the growths. You can see a staff with kind of flowered buds on the end. And his skin is pale and shiny. Let's try to talk to him. If we didn't already know, he's pointing to the lake, as if to tell us that's where we need to go. The first time we talked to him, we gained insight, by the way. That's why you saw kind of a cosmic effect when he first... And he will not say anything more. And our partners wait for us there, so like I said, in the next episode, we will jump off that ledge into the lake and fight the boss. So join us to see us fight Rom, the vacuous spider.